Are you serious? Are you serious? Folks, we have some reports coming in. Has to do with some archaeological digs going on in Jerusalem, or actually in Israel itself. Matter of fact, after the destruction of the temple in 70 AD, the Ark of the Covenant vanished from all record. Okay? Now, though different legends have sprung up around it, archaeologists are running all over the place, and they're doing all kinds of different digs in different locations, and have been. They are looking for the current location still. Now, we know Ron White, we know that he did an archaeological dig there in Golgotha, and believes he may have seen the Ark of the Covenant, that it had been damaged, and that he believes he may have seen it. Now, there's also been legends, of course, that the Ark of the Covenant was in this small temple in Ethiopia, where there's a priest that stays there and watches after the Ark of the Covenant. There were rumors that just about 3 years ago that the temple itself the roof was bad, leaking, the temple in bad shape, and that Queen Elizabeth sent an envoy to Ethiopia to rescue the Ark of the Covenant, to take it out of that temple, and literally to fly it to England, to London, where it is being temporarily held in Buckingham Palace, or in the vicinity of Buckingham Palace somewhere, maybe an underground tunnel or what have you, and being held in anticipation of the building of the third temple. That is another legend. Now, there's other rabbis, there's different legends. Some have spoken to various evangelical pastors and preachers and different people, and have rumor is that the Ark of the Covenant is in Jerusalem, that it is actually under Mount Moriah, under the Temple Mount, hidden away in a compartment in the extensive tunnel system that's under the city of Jerusalem, and that it has been preserved and it's being held there. And that the rabbis, some of the very few rabbis who are in the know exactly where it's at, and that it will be brought out after the building of the third temple. Now, let me just tell you some other things that are going on. Now, these are just different concepts and legends and information that's out there. Look, the ark, there's a place there called an area where they are excavating. It's a large central site in Jerusalem that hasn't been studied until now. It may be the only key site left in Judah that hasn't undergone a systematic archaeological excavation, according to Israel Finkelstein, one of the 3 archaeologists heading the project. As of now, these archaeologists believe there may be a smaller ancient temple at the site therein that has not been excavated, where the ark once stood. But as biblical accounts often connect the city with a pagan deity of Baal. Okay? A shrine has been found there. Could be the site of idol worship. Well, we know Baal worship was very prevalent in Israel in ancient times, especially even in the days of King Ahab and his wife Jezebel, and of course the prophet Elijah. Baal worship was huge, and they had built on top of Mount Carmel and throughout Israel high places of worship unto Baal. Now we know the Ark of the Covenant was once stolen by the Philistines and taken to the temple of Dagon in the Philistine camp. And of course, you know the story, of course, that when the Ark of the Covenant was brought into that temple and set next to the statue of Dagon, their god, that when they got up in the morning and went back to the temple, that Dagon had fallen on his face. And so they lifted Dagon back up. The next morning when they got there, Dagon had not only fallen on his face, but his head and arms and legs had been cut off. He was just a stump, okay? And the Ark of the Covenant was still sitting there perfectly. And of course, then the Philistines started getting these tumors and just got very sick, and they wanted to get rid of the Ark of the Covenant because it had brought a curse upon them instead of a blessing and power like they knew the Israelis had. We also know that when the Ark of the Covenant was stolen in this battle, that the sons of Levi, the high priest, Eli, the high priest Eli, his sons who were responsible for taking care of the ark, had taken it to battle, which they weren't supposed to do. Then when Israel got defeated, that's how the Philistines took the ark. We know that Eli fell backwards and broke his neck when he heard that the Ark of the Covenant had been taken from the children of Israel. So the Ark of the Covenant, which inside the ark, of course, was the tablets of stone given to Moses on Mount Sinai, written with the fiery finger of God, was in the Ark of the Covenant. So was a golden bowl that was filled with manna that had fallen from heaven during the time the children of Israel were going through the wilderness for 40 years. And the rod, the staff of Aaron, his rod, which had budded, showing the resurrection power that God had for the nation of Israel. And of course, eventually for his son, Yeshua, the Son of the living God, Jesus Christ, who would raise from the dead. All of that was in the Ark of the Covenant. So having said all that, they're still searching for the ark. Where is the Ark of the Covenant? Is still the question that many archaeologists are trying to find. To follow the story, of course, the Ark of the Covenant, folks, it's something that I believe they know where it's at. I do truly believe this. I believe that it is probably in the tunnels under Mount Moriah in the heart of Jerusalem, and is being held there and protected by the rabbis, waiting until the third temple is completed, and then they would bring it out and bring it into the temple of God, of the third temple, and that this would be part of the ceremony. But I don't know, okay? I don't know for sure. But I want to give you this information. I'm going to put a link below. There is breaking Israeli news. They have the new archaeological site that is going to be studied, and as they continue to look for the Ark of the Covenant. Now, I'm going to say this to you. We're now in the Grace Covenant, and as an evangelical pastor, the greatest thing you can do is look for Jesus Christ. And that's anybody and everybody. The Messiah, the Savior of the world. Look for him, and let him be found in your heart, because we are living in the last days. Don't miss tonight's Sunday Night Live. I'll talk about this and a whole lot more. There's a lot of current world events going on right now, some breaking news, and I'll be back with more right after this. God bless. Tonight's broadcast starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. 7 p.m. Eastern at my website at www.paulbegleyprophecy.com.